Okay, good day. Welcome to our class. Today we'll be looking at learning basics. Some of the important things you need to do before you start learning. One of the most important things is you and your friends. Learning is an individual activity, but also a social activity. You and your friends help you learn, you help your friends learn, and that's why today we're going to focus on you and your friends. You can learn individually, that's okay. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's recommended, but in a class settings, you're learning with others, and this is what we're going to focus on today learning with you and your friends. Okay, so before starting any educational program, there are some questions that you need to ask yourself. Why are you pursuing the degree or certificate? Again, why are you where you are? What do you want? What are the alternatives? In 2025 and moving forward, AI could teach you everything. Information is all around us. We don't need to go to school to learn how to do something. There is a YouTube video to do almost anything. So you have to ask yourself, why are you pursuing this degree, certificate? Why this institution? Why now? What are the alternatives? Because you could go to almost any university and get almost any degree. So chances are, if you're doing a business degree, most universities offer it. If you're doing an engineering degree, most universities offer it. Quality, focus, those sort of things. And one thing to be careful with, a lot of universities use fancy names and complex names for degrees that are done in other universities. So instead of saying a business degree, we might say service innovation, basically a business degree focused on the service industry. We might have process engineering, process management. They're basically related. So you have to think, what are you getting? So before you start any learning, you have to think, why am I here? What's the purpose of me doing this? What are my options? So one of the things I generally recommend students do before you start, know yourself, start by thinking, what do you expect? What have you considered? So before you start doing, write down what you want out of the program. What do you want out of what you are doing? So spend a few minutes, write a few sentences. Here are some prompts. I expect that in 4 years I would be able to apply for a job at McKinsey because they have a requirement of a degree. I have considered other universities, but this university is in the top 10 and it's convenient for me. It could be anything. There is no wrong answer. There's only answers that suit you and your situation. So go ahead, take a pause, write down a few sentences. What about you? Use the prompts, and the more specific you are, the better. You can write more than four sentences, up to you, but write something down. Get in the habit of writing down what you want. We're going to go through this a lot in the semester, and I want you to think about writing down. Physically write it down, not type it out. Go to piece of paper, pen, and write. You could type it out, but chances are, if you unless you type it on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, where it's up there in your face for a long time, you're not going to remember it. Whereas if you write it down, you are engaging more of your senses, and chances are it will stick in your brain more. So write down, why are you doing this degree, this program? Why are you here? Okay. One of the reasons why I asked about that is that you have to understand what is your motivation for learning. Okay, there are many types of motivations and there are many types. So, um, according to Winthrop and Anderson 2025, they said students fall into four types of learners. There are those who are passengers, those who just, it's easy, and they might be doing something just because, yeah, mom said so, dad said so. The work is easy. Why do I have to do this? They're not being challenged. They're just there for being there. They're cruising, going along. Or it just might be that they're just trying to fit in. They don't understand the work. They don't understand what's going on. But if I keep my head down, I could just go on and just get through the system. And that's what a lot of students. A lot of students are passengers. They just want to get through the system. They want to get through the educational system because at the end they get a degree and they can use that to get a job. Just go along, go with the flow. There are others that are explorers. And these are really curious students. These are ones who go explore, what can I do with this? How can I learn more of this? What about this? They may not focus on the whole syllabus, everything that's being presented to them. They will just focus on very special areas. You might do that. So, in a degree program, there may be courses you like and maybe courses you don't like. And therefore, you have to know what you like, what you don't like, which areas you want to explore more, and use that to find out your area of interest. There are those who are achievers, and there's the one who want to grade, who want to frame. I'm an A class student. I won this competition. I got this. Nice. There are those students who do that. And some of your classmates will be like that. So you have to understand, hey, do I want to be like that person? That person is trying to be the best in class because they like the praise, they like the phrase, the fame. They like those sort of things, and that's for them. You may not like it, you may not want it. You may say, hey, once I get through the system, I'm happy. You're a passenger. And know that in a class there are many different types of students, and there are those who would do things, those who would not. And you have the resistors who can't be bothered. They're just like, hey, what happened? I am here. Everything is hard. I'm lazy. This is not for me. And they can hold others back. So you have to figure out, hey, what type of friends do I have? Okay, do I have resistors? Friends who are just saying everything is too hard. I can't be bothered with this. What's minimum? Just do the least. Or is it let's go get the best grade? Let's go do this. Huh? Or explorers, people, students who are not focused on the big picture but on their own areas of interest. And a lot of students will be passengers, just going along, getting through the system. So you have to figure out which one are you. What do you want? What is your motivation for being here, being in the class, doing this degree program? You have to figure out what motivates you to learn. Is it the grades, the fame? Is it because you're interested? Is it you've been told to go through, be a passenger? Or is it, hey, I just can't be bothered. I just have to do something with my time, and just being here occupies my time. So think about what makes you and your program so good. Um, so, okay, so what motivates you? Like, you have to think about that for yourself. It is you. Starting with yourself and going out to others. And the idea is that what drives you? Again, what are you doing and why? And this is where your parents, your friends come in. Here you have recognition from others. What are you trying to do? So as we saw earlier with the achiever, is that it? It's parents. Is it what are you there? And you ever think, what am I doing and why? then you also think, what's holding you back from achieving it? So you might want to be an achiever, but you might also resist things. It could be yourself, it could be laziness. Many times I've seen students write, I feel lazy, and that holds them back. It's not that they're not smart, it's not that they're not intelligent, it's just they don't want to put the effort in. So you have to think, what is holding you back? And guess what? What is holding you back? Technology might be. Social media, AI, these are making you things look easy. And one of the growing concerns and one of the growing realization is that convenience is making us lazy, humans lazy. So why walk or talk when you could scroll or text? So you don't need to walk to the convenience store. You send a text message and a delivery driver comes and delivers your groceries for you. You could order on anything, Uber, Grab, wherever you are, you could have it delivered. It's convenient. So one of the things we're seeing is that social media and AI, the technology itself may be making you lazy. So you might think, what do I need to do? Perhaps sometimes it's just give up the technology. It's help. And there are a small but growing body of research that shows AI might help you be more productive, but it could take away your motivation. So you have to understand what drives you, and you have to understand what could hold you back. Because when you understand what drives you, what holds you back, you can navigate a way to get things done. Technology is great, it can make you very productive if you want that. So you must need to understand what you want, why you want it, what you're going to do with it, how you're going to do with it, because the tools are there. However, the tools that make you very productive can also be the tools that make you very lethargic, could take away your motivation, could prevent you from doing a lot. So think about it. What do you want? Why do you want it? And what motivates you? You have to have a drive, that push for yourself to know where you want. And then by having that inner drive, that intrinsic motivation, you can use the extrinsic motivation, what goes on around you, parents, friends, others, to help you move forward. So start with yourself, figure out what exactly you want. And if you don't know, go out and find it. Several students say they don't know what they want. And you have to get out and get. Forget the technology, forget the social media, go out, physically do things, and then you would see what gets to you. Because if you're spending time on social media and on screens, you may do less. And this is what a growing body of research is showing. Technology can help you be very productive, but it could also take away your productivity. So understand what you want and how you can use the tools to get what you want. And it might seem hard. Okay? So you think, hey, why do I need to do all these hard things when AI and everything makes it look so convenient? But this is part of life. There will always be hard things. And you could avoid some of them, but you still have to deal with a lot of hard things. And it's seemingly hard, but it's you building the muscle to deal with the difficult things. Once you get build the muscle, once you get the strength, work becomes easier, it becomes lighter. So if you think about lifting 50 kilos, it might seem hard now, but after a while, when you get accustomed lifting 50 kilos, it becomes easy. So you might come to another obstacle that needs you to lift 50 kilos. The first time you do it, it's difficult. But time number 10, it's easy. It's just 50 kilos. You get to move it. If another obstacle comes, it's 55. It's not much different. You can do it. So you know you can always get better. And this is why we want you to start getting comfortable doing the hard things. It's part of life. Get comfortable doing it, and it becomes easier. Okay? Technology helps, but you have to figure out how are you using your time. Because yes, technology can make help you do your essay in 2 hours instead of 10. But are you spending all your time on social media and leaving it for the last minute? Okay, last 10 minutes. And then type in your essay into AI and have it generate an AI essay without reading or understanding what you have done. So, have you made the time to understand what AI is generating? Have you made the time to understand what you're getting? So, think about it. Teachers are there to help you. Are you using the resources? Okay. So, teachers might seem harsh, they might seem difficult, they might seem boring, strict, but they're there to help you. And you have to understand that. Relationships are hard, but this is life. You'll deal with other humans. You might think I'm the easiest person to get along with, but others may not think so. And each of us are unique in our own ways, and therefore learning to live with these uniqueness, learning to live with all these differences is difficult. So when we ask you to do difficult things at school, it's not just for the class. It's not just because we're mean, it's because we as lecturers want you to build the muscle required to deal with life. That's what we want you to do. Build the muscle to deal with life. So that's why we do hard things, because hard things become easy later on. It's still hard, but it's easier to do. It's still moving 50 kilos, but it's easier. Okay? And that's what we're trying to do here. Um, so one of the things is in getting these things done, we have students who fall into two categories. They fall into a depression cycle or achievement cycle. And the depression cycle is students spend a lot of time scrolling on social media, playing games, and because of that, they do bad at school. Okay, they may not be reading the schoolwork. They may not be doing what's required. They go on social media, and the result is they do bad at school. They get depressed. They go on social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, play video games. They feel good, get their dopamine hit. However, when it comes to learning, it finds it hard because to read a book, to pay attention, to focus, it becomes much more difficult. And it's like, let me go back to my social media, go back to games where you feel comfortable. And then at the end, you're not doing the reading, the schoolwork, and you end up in a cycle. And this cycle leads you to more and more depression. But there's another cycle you can go on. You can hop onto it. And it's where you read and talk and do the difficult things. Your language improving. You read, you talk, you understand more, you do well in school. And because you do well in school, you get to meet other people. You read, you talk more. You feel good because you meet a lot of people and you get into that achievement cycle. And therefore, is the issue is moving from one cycle to another. Which cycle do you want to be on? Right? Again, a lot of students say they're mentally stressed, but why are they stressed? Are they doing what's required not to be stressed? Most mental and physical issues it can be addressed by being physical, by being social, by not using technology. Surprisingly, even in Sweden, one of the first countries in the world to go digital, they're now moving away from it. They're like, hey, we need to have a balance. Physical and social activities in class helps. Technology helps. It's part of the toolkit. So spending time playing games, social media, a little bit is okay. That is okay. But there are other things you need to do. Are you spending time doing the other things that are needed? that this is important. Okay, so choose which cycle you want to be on. You could be on a depression cycle, a very negative cycle, or you could be on an achievement cycle, which is very positive. You do your own cycle, you make your choice. Okay. Um, One of the things we can do is to learn by action. And watching videos, you can watch a video to learn to swim or dance, but you will never learn how to really swim until you go into the pool. It's all different. So you would see things on how to shoot a gun, right? But until you hold a gun and shoot it, you will never feel the force, the aim. You will not be accurate. Watching videos does helps, but it builds a sense of awareness. But action is where learning takes place. It's not just awareness. You want to have skill, mastery, knowledge. You need to have more. Okay, so this is what we're going to have. And so now we're going to do an activity to show that learning is not really passive, but learning also needs active action. So we're going to do an activity now, and this is our activity. Okay, Walt's video. This is short activity, so you'll watch a Walt's video for 4 minutes. Probably watch it twice. You be assigned pairs. Dance for 5 minutes. Practice. Then you have a ballroom dance for 5 minutes. Let's see how it goes. Some of you will feel embarrassed, chaotic. Let your feelings flow. Some of you will feel uncomfortable, but the idea behind it is experience true learning. The need for practice, not just looking at things, being comfortable, resilience. There are lots of benefits to this activity, and we're going to talk about it after the activity. Okay, so after the activity, we'll talk about it, and then let's continue. Hopefully, what we'll see is that you need to be active while learning. And some students might be sad, might be upset. It might be in misery, but might be upset, uncomfortable. But the thing is, we want the desire to be really good at something. We want to be able to do something. We saw a video of two people dancing the waltz. Everything looked nice. It looked easy. That's our desire. We took action, and guess what happened? It was confusion. Our action did not meet our desired results. There is a gap. And that gap is what makes us feel uncomfortable, disappointed, depressed. Because we see things on YouTube, TikTok that looks really great. And when we try it, it doesn't come out great. There's a problem. So perhaps you have to think about what your action is and what your desire is. And you have to align your desire with your actions. And this is where learning comes in. You cannot be an achiever, top in class, by not doing the homework, by not doing the assignments, by not reading, by not spending the time to study. Your desire must meet your actions. Your actions must meet your desire. Because when there's a gap between your actions and your desire, that is where you have misery, disappointment, depression. And to some extent, having a little bit of discomfort is good because it tells you what you need to work on. You need to focus. What exactly are you there for? So you're going to school to get a degree. Do you want an A? And therefore you need to pass. You need to study. Do you just want to get through the system? Are you a passenger? So perhaps a D, but even still, passing your exam requires a certain level of effort. Have you done that? So, this is what I want you to think about your actions. Okay. And some of the things we get to is your friends. So, the people you're around. So if you ask, if someone says you're a lot like your friends, is that a compliment? So think about the people around you. Do you look like them? Do you reflect them? Someone once said you're a reflection of your friends. So if you look at your friends, do you say, hey, is that good? Do they look good? Not just in terms of physical look, but behaviors, actions. Is that a compliment? Or is it, well, kinda? You have to ask that question. Okay, you have to answer it. Um, so think about why you have that friend. Why are you in that group? Is it to help you get better, or is it just I'm not lonely? Because if I don't hang out with this group of people, who will I hang out with? One of the things is we see students hanging out with other friends, other a group, because they don't want to be lonely. They don't want to seem as by themselves. And that's being by yourself might be a problem. But is that group of friend, that person you're with, are they really helping you feel fulfilled? Or are they there to be because you don't want to be lonely? You have to choose. You have to understand what you want. Because what you want is friends that help you grow. And sometimes you have to pretend. So, what we see as teachers, at least I see in my class, is that some students are very good in English, but they don't use their English because the friend they are with is not very good. So they pretend not to be very good at something so they could be with that friend. And you have to think, do I need to pretend? Or could you just be you? Could I show up how I feel comfortable, what you feel comfortable in? Or do you have to dress a certain way? You have to figure out, do you have to pretend or could you just be you? If you could just be you, that is good because they accept you for who you are. Um, and then you have the other cases where people are friends because they will change, they will get better, they're my friends, I would help them. So sometimes, a lot of times we see students with friends who they think they could change. Um, who they think, yeah, in the future they would be stars, they would be great. Okay, it's always hope things will be better. But to some extent, that is good. But you also have to be realistic. What are your friends doing today? With what your friends be doing today, their actions take them to their desired goal. You have to see that difference because they might have a desire. I want to be a star. I want to be a company owner. But are they taking the actions? Are they practicing? Are they studying? Are they doing what's required to be that person? So, do you like your friends how they are today or what they plan to be, what they could be? Also, would if you had a child or would you be happy if your child was friends with that person knowing what you know now? Okay, so think about it. After look back over how many years you've been to know the person, and think, would my child say, "This is my friend"? Would you be happy? Would you think that is good for them? Perhaps or perhaps not. So the questions I got is from Alex Samuzi, one of his videos. I have the link below. Okay. So these are just some questions you could ask. Think about who you are and who are you with. Because as we said at the start, learning is social. And that social aspect of learning is what helps. Okay, so think about who you are with. You are a reflection of your friends and make sure this is a good reflection. There are three types of friends. Okay, utility, fun, or just real good friends. So there are friends that are utility, and these are friends you get something from, or they get something from you. You know, you study with them, they help you, you help them. It's transactional. Then you have friends who are just fun friends. These are friends you go out and party with. They're nice to go out and play football with. They're nice to do things outside of school, outside of something productive. You want one or two of these types of friends. They're fun to have, but they're not going to take you anywhere. And then you have the really good friends. These are ones that help you get better. These are the ones that are there for you through thick and thin. So, good times and bad times, they're there for you. They're there to support you and help you grow as a person. They would tell you what they think directly. So, how do you know someone's a good friend? You could ask, do they challenge you to be better? So they're not going to say, hey, they're going to say, hey, you got a B in your exam. Why didn't you get an A? Next time, let's try for an A. So they're challenging you to be better. Um, they want to see you achieve the most. They would say, "Here, what happened? There's a job in across the world in Brazil. Go take it. No problem. We'll be here for you. We can chat on the phone. Don't worry. You go achieve your goals." They're there to support you. They want you to be the best. Um, and sometimes one of the things to know is if you have a good friend, chances are they're busy. So, busy friends are good friends. They're not there to hold you back. They're there doing things, they're setting the example, they're doing things, they're active, hopefully building themselves. And therefore, when they're with you, they're not preventing you from doing other things. A lot of times, you have friends that are always around. And because they're always around, they hold you back and distract you from doing the things you require to achieve. So think about it. You have friends who you could study with, right? Are they doing other things? Are they involved in social clubs, private practice, family, other things? So they're busy. So when they're busy doing things, they will tell you, hey, I'm going to do piano lessons, I'm going to do voice lessons. Are you coming along? What are you doing? You have your assignments, do the assignments. So when you come back, we can hang out. They give you time to do what you need to build yourself. This this is just some of the things that make good friends. So one of the other ideas of friends and having a good social environment is because working with others is the major skill for the future. Surprise, surprise, surprise. We've been working with technology, but even working with AI and technology, you have to show that you can work with others because you could come up with the bestest solution, the most greatest process. But if people don't like it, they're not going to use it. Very simple. And even though it might be good for you, and there are many examples where technology has been great and we didn't use it because it was just too inconvenient. We humans did not like it. All right. So from AC to DC power, you know, VHS to beta, from DVD to the DVR. There are many different types of DVD, CDs. There are many different things that had problems. We chose the lesser of the better. Um, I can't remember a lot of examples right now, but there are lots of examples. So when you work with technology, you have to understand what is required. So listening and speaking skills are required. So you have to demonstrate your listening and reading. So even though you're working with AI, your prompt engineering, you have to be writing as if you're talking with someone. The better able you are to talk with someone, the better able you're to write prompts. But also you have to work with AI technology and read the answer, listen to the answer, demonstrate your listening. So if someone says what they want, I want to grow my business. Is that what they're saying? Or is it, I want to earn more money? You have to demonstrate your listening. I want you to deliver my product. What are they saying with that? Is it because I are they saying they want you to deliver product, or I'm too busy to deliver it myself? Demonstrate your listeners. You can provide solutions to your clients, to your customers. That's what you want. Um, we are humans. Human to human contact would always be relevant. At the end of everything you're dealing with is another person. That's what makes us human. Um, and dealing with a human is difficult. It's complicated. Relationships complicated. So developing the skill of having a relationship with friends help you understand these human systems, how we are all related. So think of how what you do and how it impact. So you're here studying for a degree. How does it impact your parents? How does it affect your family? How does it affect the society? How does it affect the university? The university wants you to do well because it helps with their ranking. Society wants you to do it because they're more educated people. Your parents want you to do well in studying because they could say, hey, my child graduated from a top university, my child graduated from university. They're getting value for your money. So think of how what you're doing impacts a wide number of stakeholders. Because, and the thing on what we're looking at here is working with others is a major skill for the future. Technology changes, tools changes, but human humans are humans. We might change in some ways, but after how many million years, humans are not going to change significantly in 100 years. Okay, so think how we are going to relate to each other. So when we're dealing with each other, think how do we feel and what do we come. So we talk about others. Do that make us feel better? All right. So when we're talking about us, are we talking about others to make us feel better? Are we talking about it because it helps us? How does it make us feel? So we might say, John is a great student. John is a bad student. You know, think of how you are talking with about someone. Is it to make you feel better? John is a great student. I am at the same level of John, so therefore I am good. I feel better. However, one of the things we know is actions make us become better. So it's not just about talking, it's about doing. What have you done to become better? So actions make us become better. Talking about us make us feel better. And so when we're talking, start by saying I am. Use positive phrase when talking. So I am reading an hour a day in English. I am participating in this. It's showing positive actions, what you are doing. You can also listen to others and what are they saying? Are they talking about their actions or others? Is it self promotion? Is it gossip? Is it getting from you or you helping them? Do they seek to grow? Listen to what somebody says. And one of the things you can do is always learn about a person by listening to them. Actively listening, paying attention, being present when you're talking with someone. So when you're talking with someone, when you talk with your friends, be centered, be present, listen. When you are speaking, use positive words, positive phrases, active words, showing construction. When you listen to others, this are they being constructive? Are they helping you? Are they trying to help you? What's going? Are they seeking to grow? You have to listen as well. And as part of a conversation, ask a question to learn more. Because the interaction is about growing. When you interact with someone, think, how did I grow? How did I become a better person? And you want to ask questions and try to find out more. Explain to me why this. How can we build a better society? How can we improve the education system? Ask questions. Sometimes I know in Thailand, for example, some of these questions are seen as serious. But I want you to think about that. Is it serious or is it learning to grow? And if serious means learning to grow, that's okay. So think about how you're having conversations with your friend and what are you doing with these conversations? Are you using these conversations to grow? So at the end of each course, reflect. What did you learn? How can you use what you learned? Um, think about it. At the end, when you finish the course, think about why did you do it? Um, and more importantly, how can you use what you learned? Did you set out to achieve something? What did you achieve? What did you do? It could be fun and engagement, but did you learn anything? And that's something we'll be careful with because a lot of times teachers sometimes do this, make classes fun and engaging. And the end of it, students don't learn much. They remember that, oh, we had fun and we did a lot of things together. But what did you learn? So be careful with that. Think about what do you learn. So what I would like you to do now is to go back and reflect on the course, on the class, and think about what do you hope to achieve? Okay? Why are you here? What do you hope to get out of it? And rewrite what you wrote at the start of the session. What you want to achieve by when? Who would help you? How would they help you? And this what resources you're going to use. Think about using that. And then not just write it down, but stick it on a wall, give it to your parents, put it somewhere prominent so you understand why you are in this educational system and what you hope to achieve. So you start and at the end you reflect. Okay? So that's all for this class, and we're going to do a lot more classes like this where you're going to reflect on what you're doing, and hopefully I can help guide you and prompt you into thinking about yourself and give you some templates, some tips, some guidance on how you can become a better learner and how you can prepare yourself for the future. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know and let's continue our conversation.